breast, invasive lobular carcinoma, grade 2, PT2, 34 millimeters, PNO, FN, ER8, PR7.
Did you say 34 millimeters?
Yes, 34.
Where are the markers?
Under your nose.
Ha, bloody ha.
Right there.
Yes, I see. I like your cross trainers, Nazrin. Where did you get them from?
Lymphovascular invasion 4 in 12, wide local excision, axillary lymph node clearance on 10/03/2018.
Lanzarote.
Margins positive, left breast, re-excision.
I was there a month ago. Stunning volcanic landscape. A tad on the windy side, but very tasty fish. Almost as good as in Bengal. Well, I stress almost.
Looks a bit jaundiced.
More unlikely than it is likely. Jaded, definitely. Bipolar scissors?
Jaded?
Well, want symmetry of the breasts at all costs. A bit possessed about them aligning with the six-pack.
Six-pack? I can only see one pack.
I ask you, how can you think of symmetry when your cancer is not even out of your breast?
Vanity is the quicksand of reason.
Have you been watching Lord of the Rings again? Loosely cohesive tumor cells, diffusely infiltrating the mammary stroma.
Looks like an undercooked kebab in here. What's the patient's age?
34.
No doubt, we'll bounce back.
Needs investigation still. PSO, retractor please.
PSO?
Proper sort out. More likely than it is unlikely. Routine case, but quite rare given the circumstances.
Any further details?
From what I recall, tumor cells positive for estrogen receptor 40%, P53 protein 20%, CERB2 oncoprotein is diffused, and MIB1 antibodies 25%, but negative for ecadherin.
Negative? Perhaps should have erred on the side of caution and took more tissue out in the last operation.
Problem is, they obsess about how they look afterwards. The other day, one patient said her stitches were not straight on her right breast. That's all she said. Not that her margins were clear. Hurrah, rejoice, hallelujah, I'm cancer-free.
How can you get a straight line on a curvilinear surface?
That's not quite my point.
So, when are you going back to Lanzarote?
Yes, I'll get you a pair next time I'm there. See that bleeder there? We need to clamp it off. What size feet are you?
12.
Size 12. So, is it true what they say about big feet?
More likely than it is unlikely.
At any rate, they don't do oversized feet.
They don't have size 12 feet in Lanzarote, or whatever the EU equivalent is.
Nope. If you want some, you'll have to get a foot reduction. I could operate on you next week. Snip your metatarsals a little.
Spare me the charity.
No charity here. All NHS. No expenses spared.
Ah, bloody ah. This is a theatre for operating, not vaudeville. By the way, I found a speedboat I want to get. Second hand, but looks almost new.
Where is it?
Down at the Brighton Marina. I'll WhatsApp you the pictures.
Do they do them big enough for size 12 appendages? Scissors?
Ah, bloody ah.
Okay, here comes the critical bit. Concentrate.
As I said before, Arjun, about 1% of men get breast cancer in the West.
I'm not from the West.
You live in Crawley,
Yes.
so you are in the West. The risk is increased in those men with congenital inguinal hernia, orchiectomy, infertility, Klinefelter syndrome, and undescended testes. Have you ever had these?
What did you say about testes? My testes.
Undescended.
Undescended? They've been plenty down.
What's more, lobules are not unknown in male breast tissue.
Chest.
Pardon me?
It's a chest, not a breast.
As you say, chest.
Thank you.
The cancer in men presents no differently to women, only it tends to be a bit more far gone. For reasons beyond my expertise, men assume they do not have any breasts,
So it is.
and so they don't check them.
Well, no one tells us to check our chest, and we don't have breasts.
As far as we in the cancer profession are concerned, it's all human tissue. In this case, it does not matter whether you are man or woman. It is estrogen and progesterone positive.
Doctor, how come I've gone all female all of a sudden? What about my own testosterone? The next thing you'll be telling me is that I've got some problems in my own ovaries.
Now you're being silly.
Silly. Silly, silly! It's all friggin' silly. Excuse my friggin' French.
Arjun, I appreciate you are still trying to come to terms with it, but it will be all right. Your margins are now clear. Your CT scan is all clear. The bones look absolutely clear. There is no deviation in any of the rest of your soft tissue.
Soft?
We all have soft tissue. It's no comment on your manhood. It's not infallible, but we can say you have no more cancer. And all we need to do now is focus on non-recurrence.
Non-recurrence? What do you mean non-recurrence? It's gone, isn't it?
Arjun, your MRI shows a lot of areas. It's a very sensitive tool. You have calcification that has come back as LCIS.
LCIS?
It's a pre-invasive cancer.
But you said... But didn't you say that the cancer was gone?
Yes, and that's correct. This LCIS is a very harmless thing. Think of it like being at the tube station. Everyone has got out, but the door shuts on you, so you haven't got out. So this thing hasn't got out.
But what about this thing decides to get off at the next station?
Don't worry about the future. Think about now.
I am thinking about the now. And knowing my luck, I'd probably end up on the old Bakerloo line, old and smelly.
Arjun, count your blessings. We didn't have to give you a mastectomy.
How can they chop off my breast if I didn't even know I had one in the first place?
Never mind. Could I see how the scarring is doing? Today in the breast meeting,
Chest.
a chest meeting, I'll go through your case to make sure nothing has been overlooked. Look at all your x-rays and make sure nothing else requires any biopsies. The scarring is healing well. From what I see, your chest looks absolutely fine.
But it's not even. It's not in a straight line.
I centralized the nipple as much as I could. I remodeled the breast with the tissue and I filled in the gap.
Mind the gap.
Very nice. That'll be all. Another couple of weeks and you'll be ready for radiotherapy.
You could just give me the therapy, doctor, and have the radio on in the background.
We need to blast out any remaining mutations, Arjun. They are microscopic and sneaky, and it's in your best interest to go through with it.
How long will it take?
Only 4 weeks.
Weeks.
And then,
There's more?
it is beneficial for you to have adjuvant chemotherapy. Your nodes have been invaded. You'll meet your oncologist who will prescribe the drug at intervals. She might also suggest a clinical trial. Your case is unique.
That's nice. Does that mean that my hair will fall out?
Most probably. They're the parts of the body that reproduce the most, so
So now I'm reproducing as well.
all cells reproduce, Arjun. Reproduction is not solely about giving birth.
Birth. Doctor, will it affect my parts? I mean, will my partner be able to have babies with me?
It's true that chemotherapy could affect your fertility, but you can store your sperm in the bank for you to use later.
And then, after a year?
Not quite. There's the hormonal tablets. It'll be tamoxifen for 7 or 10 years.
How long?
Recent studies have increased it from 5 to 7, but most recommend 10 years.
Can't they make up their minds?
Nothing is certain in the cancer trade. There are a lot of decisions to make. But leave the thinking to us, Arjun. You just focus on keeping strong.
Strong. I'm trying, Doctor, but it's just too much.
We have a very good support system outside of the hospital. In fact, there is a chest cancer group held every month. When is the next one, Tina?
There's one happening this Thursday as it happens, in the centre next door at 6 p.m.
Are there any men who go there?
No men. But you'll find all kinds there. Women who have been through similar procedures to you.
Tell it to me straight. Will I be able to have a family around me? And will I be around for them? I mean, am I going to live?
This should not be your focus. We need to think of prevention.
Am I going to live?
Well, from the few studies that have been done on men, the 5-year overall mortality rate for your type is 65.6%, and 10-year mortality rate is 40.1%.
No, I don't want to know other types of men or women or any other types. For God's sakes, me. Am I going to live?
I'm sorry, Arjun. I'm not the expert here.
See right through it. No. You can go inside me. Enter my body. Fire up. It's like you're wailing again. Can't hear me. It's too singing. Just go away. Go away. Just go away.
You're having a bad dream. Calm down. Calm down.
The cancer is seeping into my dreams.
It's in your head. You'll be fine.
They took the bad cancer out. But I've still got this good cancer swimming around me. And they need to zap it out.
I'll zap it out of you.
Chemozappy and some radiozappy. They want to zap the whole life out of me, Nina. Just trying to get my head around it, Nina.
So am I.
I know it's been hard for you as well. To tell the truth. I don't have anyone to talk to except you.
You have to tell your family. You can't keep telling them you're going on holiday. Try telling your brother first about this chest cancer.
He'll probably start sniggering and say something like, "Take it like a man." And then he'll say something like, "You'll be all right, mate. You'll be all right." That's about the limit of his emotional empathy.
He will understand.
He won't know what's hit him. I'm his big brother, and big brothers don't do emotional. Emotional are for, wusses.
Let's just get some sleep.
No, I don't want to go to sleep. That man will come back.
What man?
That man in black. And I don't mean Will Smith.
Oh, for God's sake. You're hallucinating now. You need to see someone. A specialist.
I am seeing someone. Not just one, but dozens of specialists until they're coming out of my bloody arse.
I mean a psychiatrist.
So now you're saying I'm going cuckoo.
Yes. In a word, cuckoo.
So regret telling you anything.
And you think I wouldn't have noticed? At least I'm still here for you. If my mum knew anything about this, Your bloody cancer. Do you think she'd want me getting engaged to you?
My bloody cancer.
Yes. Your breast cancer.
I said don't use that word.
What do you want me to call it, huh? Cancer of the jugs. Boobies, titty boppers, gazungas, milk factory, mammary glands.
Shut up!
Now look what you've done.
Give me a break.
No, you give me a break. I've been hanging around for 3 months hoping that you would get better.
Hanging around. Is that what you call it? Waiting for the next man tube to catch?
I'm not some kind of man-eater.
What were you doing with that guy at the office when I came over?
Just talking, for God's sake. Something you will never understand because you're not there for me. It's always about you. Do you know, I thought you might actually learn something from this. Open up a bit. Make something out of it.
What do you mean, make something out of my cancer? Alu gobi.
It's like living with a baby.
I might not be able to have any
What?
babies.
Arjun, let's just talk about this another day. I've got to present a report at work tomorrow.
That's all you ever think about is your work.
And what's wrong with that? I have a future with work. I don't...
Have a future with me.
That's not what I'm saying.
Say it, Mina. No future.
Not like that.
I'll be truthful for once.
It's out. I've said it.
No future.
No future.
What are you doing with me?
I don't know. Just waiting.
You know what your problem is?
What?
You waited too long. And you left it too late.
Left what too late?
Babies. You're 34 and you're desperate.
If anyone's desperate around here, it's you.
Why wouldn't I be desperate? Why wouldn't somebody be desperate when they're given a death sentence?
You are not going to die, for God's sake.
You think my smoke won't be good enough?
No, it's not like that.
What is it like? What is it like?
It's like I was waiting for the right moment and I just couldn't find one.
As it is, I was waiting for the right moment myself.
You were.
Yeah. Who needs babies when you can have babes?
What do you mean?
Loads of them look after me. More than you ever could. And they're a lot more understanding than you could ever be.
I thought you said you didn't want to meet anyone. That you just wanted to curl up and...
Die? Only you make me feel like that.
After everything I've done for you.
Face it, Mina, you begrudge it. You don't think I'm man enough to take care of you.
I'm not the one who needs taking care of.
What have you done? You damn swine. Go away.
So, I said to her, I'm not going to her funeral if she's not coming to mine.
It's not like a birthday party, tit for tat.
Well, you're not having my tit for your tat. Oh, this is an estrogen positive full house. No men allowed.
Oh, hello? Arjun? Tina told me about you. I'm glad you can make it.
Yeah. I thought I should get out and meet new people.
Good. And this is the ideal place for it. Sit down. Ladies, this is Arjun. He's been diagnosed with breast cancer and is coming to join the support group.
You're joking.
Chest Carcinoma, they call it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Are you pre or post menopausal?
Shh. She's just having a laugh, Arjun. I'm Ruby. Is it a hormonal cancer?
Apparently it is.
Well, welcome to the club.
Yes, the Premium Club with Olivia Newton-John, Cheryl Crow, and Kylie Minogue. And she's still touring and shaking her butt. Oh, that reminds me. It's the last episode of Love Island tonight. What am I going to watch afterwards? I've got a text.
A round of introductions, a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go on to talk TV programme.
Yeah, don't forget about Naked Attraction.
Oh, don't forget about the charity trance disco.
Yes, good point. There's a disco on this weekend, Arjun. All in good cause to raise money for this centre. I'll give you the details later.
It's the first time we've had a man in this group.
Yeah, most men don't know what to say. When I told the men at work about my breast cancer, they would just start staring at my boobs, like gawping at my tits, like, and I'd be like, no love, it's not that one, it's this one, the right one. And then they were like, oh, is that the time? Oh, I'd best be off. And my ex, he was the worst.
The worst?
Yeah. My lumps were the size of golf balls, so I had to have a double mastectomy. And he ditched me. And you know why? Because he said he missed my double Ds.
Probably best that he's not with you, being so selfish.
Well, my mate, her boyfriend dumped her between her chemotherapy and her hysterectomy. Apparently, he had a bunion on his left foot, and she wasn't around for him.
Mine left me as well, 2 days ago.
Your boyfriend?
No, my girlfriend. They can be just as bad.
Men are still the worst. When you've had a double mastectomy and your boyfriend leaves you, you think about your boobs every day. You see the scars and you feel this, like, deep loss. So I said, right, I'm going to get a breast reconstruction and show him my Pamela Anderson tits. But I never got the chance to show him again.
Didn't you call round one day, Rita?
Oh, only to pick up his charger. I couldn't exactly get my tits out on the porch, could
It
I?
hasn't stopped you before.
Dear, look what you're doing to me. My song goes, booby, 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 booby. Ruby is my friend, but these are my best friends now.
We like to see the funny side of things. It's called a good sense of humour.
Yeah, if it's not personal, don't take it personally.
Yeah, right. So, what do you think, Arjane? Not like the fake boobs you see on Love Island with the built-in sound effects. Mine are boob heaven.
If you say so.
And did you know you can get liposuction down here and lipomodelling up here done at the same time? They just move the flesh up. The only thing that I don't like is my belly button. It looks like a bumhole and it's moved up as well.
So this is Rita, moving up in the world.
Your belly button moved up as well.
Yeah, I had to wear these big knickers to keep everything intact in my belly zone. And then I got an infection in my belly button.
From the big knickers?
Oh, God knows. Maybe it was already there from the, what do you call it, the flut. And then I had the tattoos.
Tattoos?
Yeah, for the nipples.
Crikey! They take those up as well.
Well, they're not going to just float around like satellite dishes.
That's an interesting idea, nipple satellites hovering around the planet.
Ground control to Major Tom. You should see the margin. Not like your classic nipple style. Mine have got happy face emojis on them.
Should we move on? Ruby, why don't you introduce yourself to Arjun?
Well, I've been coming here 4 months just to chill out, not to have to explain myself all the time. I don't want pity. I just want to be seen as a person.
Yeah, we treat everyone as a person, not a patient or a corpse.
I think cancer can make you into a better person.
She's much nicer now than she ever was before.
I've made so many new friends. Sometimes it can be difficult and you just need someone to hold your hand. I mean, I just finished radiotherapy 2 weeks ago. It was all right for a bit, but then my skin started peeling off and now my right breast has gone orange.
Not as orange as Donald Trump though, hey? Ah, do you remember when you went blue, Ruby, when you got the Smurf dye?
Oh yeah, when I had my lumpectomy. They had to put this dye in me so they could see the nodes. I was weeing blue, pooing blue, even my boobs went blue.
You might say she was a blue tit.
I had that as well.
Blue tit.
No, I mean, I had the dye. It didn't go blue. I suppose brown skin doesn't show as much.
Oh, but you're still radioactive.
Radioactive, radioactive.
Radioactive?
Radioactive with a short shelf life. You won't go nuclear. It's perfectly safe.
Yeah, they say my original colour's going to come back and then they'll be pinky or perky again.
I've called mine Ant and Dickie.
And because I had nodal involvement...
The lesson is never get involved with a node.
A gnome.
A node. You know, glands.
Oh, of course.
And so, because I had nodal involvement, I'm going to have to do chemo. Do you know if you put on a cold cap, you might not lose your hair?
I wore that. And for the first 4 cycles of chemo, no hair loss. Me and my mum would go for coffee and a cake afterwards. But then the last 2 cycles, it all just fell out in the shower.
All at once.
Yeah. And I was really upset with myself because I felt like I couldn't go on. But then it was okay. It all grew back like pubes on your head.
Oh, I wish I'd seen you when you were a puberhead.
It wasn't as bad as this other woman. She had pubes on her boobs.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. She was too slim for breast reconstruction. Too slim. So she had to put weight on and get some love handles. Went to bed every night with M&Ms and spring rolls.
Girl, sex is overrated anyway.
They took the flesh from her thighs, put it on her chest, so she had her legs wrapped around her chest. And then she would lay upside down with her legs in the air for 6 weeks. And then before you knew it, she had pubes on her chest. And they just gravitated up from her bikini line.
You can gravitate up.
Anything's possible when your world turns upside down.
I was okay because I had the DF.
DF.
Yeah, Dolly implant, extra power.
DIEP stands for Deep Inferior Epigastric Perforator. It's when the blood vessels, skin and fat are taken from the lower abdomen to reconstruct the breast. The fat there is very similar, you see.
Yeah, sounds about right. So, have you had breast reconstruction, Arjun?
Chest.
Do you need symmetrising, Arjun?
Yes. No. I don't know. It's all a bit TMI.
Oh, is that another disease I don't know about?
TMI. Too much information.
Ignorance can be bliss.
Oh, and you're the happiest person around here.
I didn't even know what an uncle gist was before. I thought it was some kind of relative, if you get my gist.
Oncologist, Rita, you're hilarious.
I wish I could laugh about it.
There'll come a point when you'll be able to. Often there's a volley of mixed feelings we go through. At first it might be denial.
No, not me.
Then it could be, why me?
Why me? No.
Then there's an intense searching that goes on.
Searching for what?
Solutions, changes, answers.
What is this? Some kind of Alcoholics Anonymous?
Well, yes, but only for those with breast cancer.
Chest carcinoma.
Then gradually you'll accept it as being part of life.
Life? Huh. Or a death sentence? Or a life sentence where you never die? I don't know which is worse.
Then you'll look back and realise it was just another sentence in your life story, which is a very long story, and this is just one small part of it.
Small. 3.4 centimetres small.
You will move on.
I'm trying. I'm just waiting for inspiration to hit me.
Or I'll hit you with it.
You don't have to beat yourself up, Arjun.
Yeah, Rita will definitely knock some sense into you.
Yeah, shit happens.
Yeah, but sometimes this is just too much shit. It's like they say my bad cancer is out. Harmless, because they haven't taken the good cancer out. But there's all this medicine, and that's harmful because it could make me ill. But it helps me my chances of survival. And I keep thinking, what if I don't tell anyone? I mean, no one need know. Isn't that for the best?
If you do nothing, that can lead to recurrence.
Even if you do something, you could have a recurrence.
That way the percentages are more.
Oh, I don't think you understand. It's nothing to do with percentages or anything. It's just that I used to think that I was invincible. I could do the half marathon, cycle up a hill in gear 3. Now look at me. I'm just a shriveled up body and a waste of space. At night, I get these nightmares. There's this man in black. He comes towards me and he says, I have to use this knife and kill my whole family in order to find my sanity. But I don't want to do it. But there's all this blood on my hands. And then behind me, there's this huge volcano and it's spewing out fire and it's endless. And it grows bigger and bigger and bigger until I can't see any more sky. And it's all on this barren land with lots of soldiers and chariots like in the Mahabharata. And Krishna is talking to Arjuna. He's telling him that he must kill his relatives to do his duty. Like I have to face my family. Oh God, how am I going to do that? Then Krishna gets bigger and bigger and bigger with all these arms and mouths and eyes until he becomes the entire universe. And then he stops growing. And then he disappears. And all that's left is a pool of tears in the center. And out of it is lots of snakes and seaweed and hands, and they start to, spiders become strangling me, and they get tighter and tighter, so I have to get my knife and I use it to stab myself as well.
You need to get out more.
Oh yeah, come out.
You don't need to deal with the floodgates of hell on your own, Arjun.
And once we've got to know each other a little bit better, we can show each other our scars. I've got a nice couple of scars on my belly and on my boobs. My war wounds, my monuments to my battle with cancer. Big monuments.
Why don't you join us at the disco, Arjun?
Yeah. We're all dressing up, wearing our wigs. I've got a few I picked out from those ladies who drink posh tea and frequent the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital. Come with me. I'll show you what I've got.
Hey, bro! Mom told me you're here. It's been so long, man.
Hey, Sunil!
What are you doing?
Just looking at this spider's web,
Okay.
building its new home. Nobody saw it, nobody thought to clean it off. Just under the triangle of it, under the seat.
Yeah? So? Mum missed it when she was dusting.
It wove its way into the crevice and wove away, building its house bigger and bigger, and nobody saw it. See?
Yeah. We'll brush it off.
No, leave it. I want to see how big it gets.
Hey, bro. Why don't you watch Netflix instead? Come on.
That's what I love about you, Sunil. You always know how to bring me down to earth. So, how's things?
Great. I got a new job in the city. But Mum wants me to stay here and commute. But I said I'll be finishing late. And I don't think it's a good idea. I travel with Southern Rail so late. I never get home. And I think it's best if I get my own pad. Just like you. Can you believe it, bro? Independence Day is finally coming.
Oh, what you mean is our little Sunil has finally got himself a girlfriend.
No, bro.
Since when did you get the sudden urge to leave Mars Alu Prota Hey, does she make them?
She?
Your girlfriend?
There's no girlfriend.
Yet.
Actually, I've learned. I make a wicked paratha. Slap, 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 bang, on the tawa.
You'll have to come and cook for me.
But there's no way I'd outdo Mina's cooking.
Mina?
Yeah, Mina.
She's gone.
Gone.
Yeah, gone.
Gone with the wind, gone with the pixies, gone where?
Gone, just gone. I don't know where.
Oh, bro. Have you two split?
Yeah, in a word. Split. I suppose it was inevitable.
Bro, you don't get engaged to split up.
Things changed after I got dire.
Dire?
Dire.
Dire what? Diagram? Diaphragm? Diarrhea?
After I got diagnosed.
Diagnosed. Diagnosed? Okay. Nobody just gets diagnosed. Diagnosed with what?
That's it. I got diagnosed. That's it.
But nobody just gets diagnosed. You've been diagnosed something? Tell me, bro.
Cancer.
What?
Cancer.
No.
Yeah.
Where? How? When? Oh, bro.
It's all right. I'm not going to die. They took most of it out. I mean, most of it is out.
You've had an operation?
Yeah. I've had 2.
2? You should have told us.
How could I? You would have gone and created a Bollywood scene like you're doing now.
Sorry, bro. So you weren't on holiday?
No.
In Cape Verde then?
No.
You weren't in Sardinia?
No.
You was in hospital?
Yeah.
On your own?
Mina was there for a bit.
Come and stay with me. I'll look after you.
Well, and take the place of your phantom girlfriend. No, I think I might come back and live with Ma.
Just want to be there for you.
And you are, just by hearing me out. Sit down. I've met these new girls. They're really fun. I'm going to disco tomorrow. You've got to come along. They're really fun girls. They're women who've had cancer.
Wow. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Where is it?
Belloc Avenue.
Not the disco. Your cancer.
It's on a need-to-know basis.
Well, I need to know.
Why?
Because your bro needs to know.
I've already said too much.
No. When I need something, I need to know about it. I need you. Simple. Is it down there?
No, higher.
Where, your stomach?
Higher.
Your throat?
Lower, lower.
Kidney?
Higher.
Come on, where? Higher, lower, higher, lower. You sound like Bruce Forsyth.
Who mentioned Brucey boy?
Ma.
What a man. 89 and he could still do cha-cha.
Ah, Mum. We're just talking about Arjun's body.
What a fit body it is. Strong and handsome, just like his father was.
You never mentioned Dad's body like that before.
Well, it was hiding under kilos of fat, but it was there somewhere.
Yeah, too many aloo parathe, Mum.
Don't lay responsibilities on my doorstep. I never forced him.
No, Ma. You don't force. You just lure.
He did a lot of luring himself. Besides, he loved his food. I remember that time I came home one day early. Sunil was a little nudger. He's gone and got his Farley's rusk, dissolved them in milk, eating them away merrily from his orange baby bowl. He didn't even use a spoon.
And he didn't even give me any.
No, he said it was too good for you. There he was, with the rusk all over his face, hands, mouth, dripping down on his chest.
Chess?
Just like Lord Baby Krishna. When I asked him, at least use a spoon, he said in his big, big voice, Indians, do not use spoons. Spoons are for the Britishers.
It could be scary.
But Krishna can never be scary.
He can. In the Mahabharata, he becomes a frightening giant.
Ah, that's when the great warrior Arjun wouldn't listen to him. So he had to grow tall and mighty.
I used to get so scared when you told us that story.
It's not a horror story, Arjun. It's to show his magnificence. And then there's more to life than meets the eye. But I must admit, Arjun, I used to enjoy scaring you. A little bit, mind. That's the only time you came and cuddled me with all your life. When you were frightened, listening to me with your big, wide eyes, precious than diamonds. But I think after all these years, you still haven't worked out the point of Krishna becoming the universe, have you?
Not really.
That's what I thought. Just imagine you see your relatives and your teachers on the other side, and you have to fight them in a battle to death. If you don't fight them, they will kill you. How would you feel? What would you do? Arjun was asking himself. He was so full of doubt that he crumbled on the floor. And then Krishna, who was with him, grows and becomes Vishvarupa, with many heads, many arms, many eyes, and many mouths.
Yeah, that's the bit I liked.
Krishna becomes the form that contains all the universe. He gives Arjun the divine vision so he can see his part in a bigger picture, his dharma, his duty. And then he realizes...
Realizes what?
He realizes that he has to fight. And that's what he was born to do.
Right. You have to fight your doubts, bro.
Don't live your life with doubt. Do you have any doubts, Arjun?
Yes, I do. I wanted to say... I wanted to ask you... I wanted to ask, what would you do if you saw a spider's web?
Brush it away, of course.
But what if it wasn't doing you any harm? There are no poisonous spiders in Crawley.
How can you say that? These creepy crawlies can hide all kinds of nastiness. Where is it? I'll go and get the brush. Sunil, come and help me with the dinner.
Yes, Mum.
मेरे बिरद है दम दम अली अली मेरा बिरद है दम दम अली अली हजलाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त शजलाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त झुललाल कलंदर मस्त मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त मस्त दम मस्त कलंदर मस्त अखि जमलंगा तू अली 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 अखि जमलंगा तू अली 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 मेरे बिरद है दम दम अली अली मेरा बिरद है दम दम अली अली लाल कलंदर
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Aren't you drinking?
No. Not ever since I learned it was carcinogenic.
Everything is a car seat nowadays. If I suck on a plastic straw, I have to worry about the seahorses for the plastic pollution. If I have a glass of milk, I have to worry about the methane coming out of the cow's ass. Come on, try this.
What is it?
It's a triple Molotov Jaeger bomb cocktail. Less toxic than that chemo.
Oh, we do this regularly. Go out on a bender at the weekend.
Yeah. Life's too short to mope around. Come, let's go on a bender. Come on. So, you come here often?
Well, yeah. You invited me.
Oh yeah. I don't have any other chat-up lines apart from, would you like to see my war wounds?
Well, we've heard that already.
Do you know how to floss?
Dancing floss or dental floss?
Hold this, like this one.
Flossing is not my thing.
Do you like the music?
Music's great, but I don't like flossing.
You should have seen me before. Before the chemo, I had a lot more rhythm. Then I got chemo brain, chemo knees, and now chemo pelvis.
I'm sure you did. Oh. I'm feeling very dizzy. Can you excuse me?
Yeah, take a 5-minute break. Go.
She's a bit of a wild card since her partner left her. Oh, but I like her attitude. It's simple. A, B, C, D. A, you're A-okay. B, you're getting better. C, feeling crap. D, you're dead.
It's tough dealing with all this.
Yeah, but it's good to reassess everything. My life's so much richer than it was before. I can see the rubbish, the slack, the idiots, the by-the-way friends, and chop them out of my life. You make new connections with the most unlikeliest of people. If you look at me and her, I haven't really got anything in common with her. I work in IT, she works in a sandwich shop, but we connect, and it's not just because we like sandwiches.
I love those cheese curly sandwiches they served after the operation. Oh, I wanted to retch afterwards.
Are you in the sandwich industry as well?
No, I work in the travel firm. Took time off.
Oh, nice one. You've got time to come out with us more often then.
As long as it's not singing more ABBA songs or watching Mamma Mia.
Oh, much better. The other day I went out with Rita to the beach and we did the silly salmon challenge. It was such a laugh, I was in agony afterwards. Can you do it? It goes like this. Woo! 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 And like this. Woo! 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 Double it higher. Woo! You should learn from Rita, she's a silly salmonist.
So that's what she's doing on the dance floor.
Oh, she may act like a lunkhead, but she knows what life's about.
So what's it about?
Well, it's about knowing who you are, setting a big goal.
Big goal?
Yeah, what you're going to leave behind when everything else becomes dust and ash.
Well, that's deep for a disco.
You asked.
Yeah, I suppose I did. We're into reincarnation and all that. Well, to be honest, it's more my mother than me. She really believes that she's never going to go away. Asian mothers can be like that.
Oh, not just the Asian ones.
I haven't told her.
You haven't told your mom?
No.
Why ever not? You have to tell her.
No, it would break her.
But what if it breaks you and then she'll never know how you felt?
I'll see what happens.
See, that's what you don't see. It doesn't really matter what happens tomorrow. This is about now. Us appreciating every day, every hour, every minute, every second of your breath. It's so precious. Everyone else around is gradually dying. They're living a half-life. I look at some people and I think, oh, you're so sad, you're so petty, but
Me and Rita, we're living our lives to the hilt. Throw your limbs out wide and embrace it. Embrace the light and the darkness. Embrace everyone you've ever known and will know.
I can't embrace anything at the moment, Ruby. I'm still a bit raw. I opened myself up to my ex, and she just slammed the door in my face.
You don't need a girlfriend or a boyfriend to know you're worth. You just have to let go.
I'm trying. I just need time to see the big picture and my part in it. And to see the man with the many heads, the many arms, the many eyes and the many mouths. And to see the man with the many breasts.
Cyclophosphamide, anthracycline, pegylated liposomal doxorubicin. Cyclophosphamide, anthracycline, pegylated liposomal doxorubicin. Cyclophosphamide, anthracycline, pegylated liposomal doxorubicin. Cyclophosphamide, anthracycline, pegylated liposomal doxorubicin.
Eribulin, epirubicin. Eribulin, epirubicin.
Ta 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 dragadan jijikita thoran takatun tak tik da tik thei jijikita thoran takatun tak tik da tik thei thoran takatun tak tik da tik thei thoran takatun tak tik da tik ta
I used to think I was invincible. Now look at me. My body ravaged, all at the mercy of fate. You blow your divine shell, and my bodies fight each other, the good ones against the sickly bad. I am in so pain. My family is standing there. My relatives, my beloved friends, my teachers, my guides, all stand there on the other side, ready for me to kill them. They are standing there to give their all. Pains my heart.
themselves. They love me and I love them. But I have to kill them. The omens are bad. Why should I kill my beloved and myself? It will bring us all to hell. When ceremony cannot meet death.
Fulfill your karma, your duty, and become free. Free from the shackles of your past lives. Your soul will live on. It is eternal energy. Everything else is illusion. Don't obsess over details or results. Take your higher course of action and know it is good. It is knowledge. It is passion. Master your mind and your body will follow. Display your universal form and emit the radiance of the thousand suns that contains every being, every material in existence. The tree has its roots in the heavens and its foliage beneath. Everything is transient, perishable. Accept with detachment and enter the supreme. Surrender. Be the ultimate perfection of your own life. Do not be a coward. Stand up for the fight. Live up for the
இந்த வாராயே சீதனம் அனில் ஜீவனே போவதே நீலகாகிறதே நேரம் தைகிறதே யாராம் ரசிக்கவில்லையே இந்த கண்கள் மற்றும்